Welcome to Boss.
Thank you.
We're just talking about my kids, so clearly Barbies are everywhere around this house. I was going to grab some, but I realized I don't know where all the clothes are for some of them.
I know they're supposed to be played with, so
yeah.
that's
For anyone who has not been watching Boss, well, one, you should be, but two, Boss is my new LinkedIn video content series about thought leadership, where I interview my badass executive network to help others learn, network, and pay it forward in this crazy new normal.
First of all, I have the best job in the world. I get to talk about toys that are changing the life for the next generation. So I feel like the luckiest person. I also joke that I'm Barbie's publicist. So for a doll and an icon who can't speak for herself, I'm out there sharing her message with everyone. So it's been a fun journey at Mattel. Again, toys, especially during this time, couldn't be more relevant or important. So I really feel like, I get to share a message and a mission that's really aligned with my own. And I love hearing personal stories. Every single person has some memory of a Mattel product or a toy in general.
Yes. I mean, I grew up on Barbies. We have some of the ones that were still at my parents' house, in my house now, that my daughter and my son play with. They look different too, right? Barbie's evolved over the years, especially as I've gotten her like the computer science Barbie, the new ones, or the astronaut. Doing a lot around doctors and nurses. And my son just crashed my interview.
As he should.
Look, it's Barbie's publicist. This is Marissa.
That is exactly the life we're all living, right?
Do you remember how did we meet each other?
I know. I was trying to think. So I think we originally were introduced through General Assembly. We were trying to get a program off the ground, and then 2020 hit. But really one of the things that we've been focused on at Mattel, and girls in particular, is coding. And so finding different ways to get them introduced and piquing interest. And you were teeing it up so well of like, when Barbie takes on the role of computer engineer, what does that mean for the next generation? And some of the amazing groups that we worked with, Girls Who Code, Black Girls Who Code, just finding ways to actually get girls into these classes.
Tell me, Marissa, how did you get to where you are now? And, where did your brain trust or kind of boss network come from?
I feel like I've been so lucky to be surrounded by like strong, powerful women who are all bosses in their own right. I left college thinking that I was going to go into broadcast journalism as well. Just thought that would be the most fun job in the world. And actually just dealt with some different PR people and publicists. And through that, really found that storytelling in that vein was way more up my alley. I love telling stories. I love hearing about it. I love brands with a mission. So I actually started at a PR agency at Ketchum and really got to take on these large clients, but with a certain focus. So it was health and wellness, or it was, connecting with consumers and building their brand voice on social media. So each of them sort of had an individual problem that they were looking to solve. And through that, really got to marry my love of awesome brands, iconic brands, and then a fun voice to make some things that aren't so fun for consumers actually fun. So talked a lot about potato chips and bleach and, health and wellness. And so, just finding different ways to connect with consumers has always been a passion of mine. And then actually Michelle was one of my clients. So I followed my amazing boss, Michelle Chidoni, who I would say is still a mentor and almost a sister at this point. And she went to Mattel and I followed her. And then I've been at Mattel for 7 years. And again, the myriad of women who work at Mattel, working mothers, new moms, just having a great group of women to look up to. And also with a mission that translates into the products that we support every single day.
I've looked at so many brands. Like, do you have advice for how to deal in these moments of crisis?
I mean, I think, the biggest thing is just continuing to be authentic and knowing what your brand offers and how that has changed during this time. Luckily for toys and play, that couldn't be more important than it is, but in different ways. We took the opportunity to really, sit down and figure out how we could be a resource to families and kids and parents during this time. And so at the launch of COVID, we actually launched Mattel Playroom, which was online destination hub, which really just aggregated content that we already had, but put it all in one place. So just to make it easier, knowing that shipping and some of the ways to actually get the product were changing. So how could you re-hack the dream?
Jake, honey, you can't be in here. I love you.
Crazy time for parents, as you're sharing with me right now. And so it's just, figuring out this new normal, but knowing that it's also, longer term than I think any of us thought. And so how are you building that into future plans? Even in my job, like press interviews, like no one's going in studio, no one's going anywhere. There are no events. So how are you engaging in different ways and getting creative?
We know the world needs more women and diversity in tech roles, data roles, leadership, marketing roles, PR roles, right? The new 2020 Global 500 list showed just that women run just 13 out of 500 of companies on that list, and there were no women of color. We know that this is an election year, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. Speak to me about these stats.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's crazy because I work with such awesome women that the fact that we don't run the world yet is shocking. But I would say, what we're really focused on is that next generation. And one of the things that we've seen is just the pipeline of talent. You have to start there. You have to show kids what they can be, and particularly girls of color, and really introduce them to these roles. So whether that's through a Barbie doll or, YouTube content where you're highlighting different, and not just jobs, but paths. We really have what we call a dedication to the next generation of fill in the blank. So whether it is a creator and, embracing that artistry, a lot of people also don't know that they could be a toy designer. Mm-hmm. That's such a dream job. And if we can connect our designers to literally show the next generation that that is a role, how cool is that? And how much more will we diversify both across race, but also gender? So something that we're very dedicated at. And I think, really because we hit the youngest of kids, I think we have a really important responsibility to make sure that we're showing up in different ways. And then, with global platforms that have huge awareness that we have on Barbie and Hot Wheels and Fisher-Price and American Girl, there is such a variety of ways that we can be fun and show kids what they can be. Has actually had 2 female CEOs over our 75 years, which is really awesome. And there are different organizations within our industry that are a huge focus of that. So Women in Toys is a group that we work really closely with to show and highlight and award talent that is on the way up, knowing that it's still underrepresented in the industry. So we also have like a really cute Fisher-Price playset that's working from home. It's like kids want to emulate what their parents are doing and talk about it and have conversations. And I feel like this new world has offered that.
It is an election year. I want to encourage everyone to vote. I'd love to hear what's happening or what are you activating around the campaign?
Barbie's actually run for president 7 times. So she's run since 1992. And what's so crazy about that is the fact that there wasn't even a woman on the ballot back then. So, she's been breaking boundaries. She hasn't won yet, but we're working on that. This year we launched a campaign team because it doesn't just take the president to win. You really need to surround yourself with a strong team. A fundraiser, presidential candidate, campaign manager, and voter. Okay. So and showing the whole realm of how you get there. The first time ever we're introducing a voter doll. And again, just knowing that's not technically a career, that's a role that all of us should play, and the importance of that. And, beyond just a doll set, we also have an online hub of resources so that kids can start playing it out. They may not be 18 yet, but knowing about the importance of voting starts super early. So how do you write a campaign speech? How do you figure out what you stand for? All things that anyone in a leadership role should know. Which has been really great. And then we have had ongoing relationships with different organizations focused on getting women out to vote or to run for positions. So She Should Run is a really, it's a nonpartisan group that we've worked with that really is about how do you educate and how do you even show women who are interested how to get there.
I love this. Okay. What is the most important skill that leaders need for the future of work?
Communication.
Favorite Barbie doll? Do you have one?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I would say I have a wall in my office, again, when I'm there, that has all the dolls that have either given me a headache or made me the most proud. And I would say a lot of them are career dolls. Mm-hmm. And then of women, we've made dolls of Rosa Parks and Frida Kahlo and just powerful women. So those are my most proud.
So have in the box still the Reese Witherspoon Legally Blonde 2.
Yes, I have that one too. That was iconic and classic. And, she as a person is inspiring, and then also the doll.
What do you want to be known for?
I definitely want to be known for doing work that makes impact. And, you know, that's both personal and professional for me.
I love it. My daughter, who's at school right now, is going to be so jealous that I just interviewed Barbie's publicist.
We'll tell her hi, and I've got the hookup for her.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.